Welcome back to Jarrett 306. This is my video about the 90s comic book movies that are not DC, not Marvel. That part two. And I got a lot of there's so many mosquitoes because we're so hot here right now. All right. First off, I need to mention that I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I said in my last video that 1984's Supergirl, that was the original comic book hero that was a heroine, and I mentioned that 1996's Barbed Wire was the next one since then. Well, you know what? I'm wrong. I redid my research. I obviously missed a couple of dates or something like that. And the one thing that I need to mention is that the one that was the next one since then was actually this one, Tank Girl, starring Lori Petty from 1995. Now, Tank Girl is it takes place in 2033. A huge meteor here hits the earth, which we no longer have movies, we no longer have television, and we also have, because of that, a shortage of water. And because of this, a villain named Kesley, who's played by the great Malcolm McDowell, holds control of the world's he holds control as the leader of water and power, and he controls those two things throughout the world. Um, Now, this tanker was created by uh, Alan Martin and Jamie Hewlett, and is a couple of guys from Britain. And it was first published in by Deadline Publications in 1988. And what's great about this movie is that as this guy who wants to just gain power over the world's water and power supply, and it's that which is like, could just imagine that actually happening. The two things that stand in Kesley's way are the Rippers, who are an army of half men, half kangaroo people. That's kind of funny, but nevertheless, played by T Saint, who is played by the hip hop artist turned great actor Ice T. Now, there's nothing this guy can't do. I'm telling you, in order SVU, just to name a few things, this guy can do it all. And number two, they didn't count on a lady who has a big amount of attitude and has a tank, known only as Tank Girl. All right, so that's how that one went out. Okay, number two, this next movie had a, I don't know, I gotta say, this one had a lot of expectations when it first came out. This is one that people thought that was going to be fantastic because of the fact that not only was it a great comic book character and and a character that many people loved, but it was being played by one of the biggest stars in the entire world at the time, and that was Judge Dredd, played by Sylvester Stallone. I mean, there you go. In 1995, Judge Dredd came on the screen. It was a comic book that was created by John Warner and published by IPC Media in 1977. So this one had been around for almost 20 years before it was put out, and that's why it was, like I said, as the comic book fans, it was very beloved. It was one that were like, this is one we want to see on screen, and especially when they put Stallone as the head, as the lead in that movie, that became quite something. So what happens is that Sylvester Sly Stallone as Judge Dredd. in the 22nd century, in 2137, there is a crime epidemic at such proportions in what is known as Mega City 1, because they started consolidating cities and creating high rises. I mean, that's something you got to look into, but nevertheless, street police are now judges. Specifically, they are judge, jury, and executioner. So there's no the court system. Throw it out. It's up to the street police to do to exact law and order and justice. And when the judge was framed for a crime that he didn't commit, he finds himself in a situation where he must clear his name, escape from prison, and save the judges. Actually, because they're all being played, and and what he needs to do is he needs to restore law and order. And in the immortal words of Judge Dredd, I am the law. Okay, my next recommendation is from 1996. Now, this is one, I'll be honest with you, when I first saw this in the theater, I was blown away. I thought, I want to see this as a franchise. This is great. This is something that people can get behind. No, I was wrong. I was wrong. But nevertheless, that is 1996's The Phantom. Slam Evil. Now, the Phantom was created by Lee Falk, and he was published by Key Features Syndicate. Now, he's actually one of the earliest comic book characters that was ever created. Many claim that he was the first, but it's tough to say who was or not. But nevertheless, the mantle of the Phantom, according to this movie and this lineage, was that the mantle of the Phantom was passed down from father to son since 1536. And when the father of a person by the name of Christopher Walker was killed in a pirate attack, Christopher Walker swore an oath against piracy, greed, and and cruelty in all their forms, and he wishes he becomes the first Phantom. Now, in this film, the 21st Phantom is played out a guy by the name of Kip Walker, played by Billy Zane, who'd been around for quite some time. He'd been in the Back to the Future trilogy, and eventually he went on to play that memorable character in the Titanic. And what happens is that he comes up against a very rich New York playboy who seeks uh, the three skulls of Tuganda. And now the three skulls are three skulls that have been separated on several areas of the earth. But the fact is that if you combine all three of them, they can harness and be used as a weapon, and they can harness the power of the sun as a laser type weapon. And anybody who would hold them would be absolutely unstoppable. But what what Drax finds out is that he doesn't actually possess the fourth skull. And here we go. The right there, right there. That's the fourth skull. The fourth skull was the one that was possessed by only the Phantom, and known as the Ghost Who Walks. I can't recommend this one enough. To be honest with you, you should watch it. I think this, and because of the fact that they've made movies and made for TV movies, and also comic books since and cartoons since that this one, this is one that's sooner or later there's going to be another movie about this one, and hopefully they get it right this time. Okay, and that leads me to my next one. Oh man, once again, I wanted this one to be a franchise. I really, really did. And that is 1997's Spawn. Spawn, created by Canadian artist Todd McFarlane and published by Image Comics. The murder of a U.S. Marine by the name of Al Simmons, played by Michael J. White, who's one of the most underrated action heroes of all time and great martial artists, legit fighters that fought in tournaments, and unlike many others that become that thing. He agrees to when he dies and he goes to hell. He agrees to lead to the devil to lead hell's army against heaven, and Spawn actually eventually he figures out that he can take control of his curse, and that he can use it against evil, like the Violator that's manipulating him, and the devil himself, and just like and just like the Phantom, like I said, I really wish this became a franchise. I mean, I can see why a lot of these ones don't. Now, many of the ones, even in the first movie, if you look at the comic books, they're very, very violent, very, very bloody, such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the the Mask, the Shadow, as well as the ones that I'm talking about today, Judge Dredd, the Phantom. See, the problem is that during the 1990s they wanted to make these movies PG-13. They wanted to bring in the kids because they thought, oh well, the kids like comic books, right? It wasn't until more recently when they made Deadpool that they realized that, oh well, we can make money off of R-rated uh, comic book movie if you just put it out to the crowd that that wants that. Anyways, and that's what's unfortunate about Spawn. But if you ever saw the HBO cartoon series that they did on eight, oh man, that was exactly what Spawn should be. Very dark, very violent, very bloody. Yeah. Yeah, this is another one just like what I said with the Phantom. This one's gonna come back. This one's gonna come back. This one's gonna come back and be done right. And at least that's my opinion. And now, the final movie that I'm gonna be speaking about. This is the one that I was speaking about. This is my favorite from that time. This is my most recommended, and actually, this is my favorite movie of all time, and that is Brandon Lee in The Crow from 1994. Now, The Crow was created by James O'Barr uh, and first published by Caliber Comics in 1989. Um, this was something that the creator created because he finally got sober and he had a fiance. They were going to get married. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, she got killed by a drunk driver. And instead of diving back into his alcoholism, he decided to create a character that had so much pain that he could translate his pain into a character. God damn. This one is starring the late great Brandon Lee. Now, let me tell you, as a Bruce Lee fan, I followed Brandon's career um, the whole way, and everybody knows there was no two ways about it that Brandon was going to be a huge movie star, and that this movie right here, this is the one that proved it because of The Crow, he became an international movie star. He became the star that everybody knew he was going to be. It's like he had a mark on him. It's like this guy's going to be great. This guy's going to be a superstar, bigger than his father. Well, shit. Um, and unfortunately, he died while making this film. Mm. And I'll never forget my buddy at school when I was in grade 8 telling me, he's like, "Do you hear about what happened to Brandon Lee?" I'm like, "Wait, what are you talking? Is he making another film?" Shit. Anyways, this is Brandon Lee. He was playing the character Eric Draven, who's a musician, and who was murdered along with his wife to be on October 30th, Devil's Night, the night before their wedding. Yeah, they were set to get married on Halloween, and during the investigation, when they were checking out the bodies and stuff, the one guy says, "Who the fuck gets married on Halloween?" And the great Ernie Hudson, as Officer O'Malley, says, "Nobody, sir." And yeah, and what happens is that a year later, exactly 1 year later, a supernatural crow, a bird, a supernatural crow, resurrects Eric and leads him. You know, he's his guide, leads him to exact revenge against those who did this to them. Uh, though this movie, I wish those that remember it would actually remember the fact that Brandon Lee had such a love for making films. But yet, most people remember it just simply for the fact that this is the film that he passed away. Once asked in an interview, Brandon was asked, he's like, "Would you like to be exactly like would you like to be just like your father?" And he said, "Well, if you mean, do I want to be the greatest fighter in the world? Because that's what my father wanted to do. My father wanted to be the greatest fighter in the world, and he wanted to be remembered as the greatest fighter in the world." And then he said, "No, no, that's not what I want." And he said, "But do I want to be remembered as a great actor who done great performances in a lot of great movies? Absolutely. Yes. Yes, that's what I want." And see, that's the thing is that Brandon, even though he studied the martial arts because of the fact that he felt that connection with his father when he was younger, who was taught by his father when he was younger, he felt that in order to have a connection to his father, he would continue with the martial arts. But what his real thing was is that he wanted to be an actor. He wanted to make film. He wanted to make great stories. There was actually many that he could have been part of, and many that I mean, I don't know at this time, but there I've read many that he mentioned. Like, I wanted to do this play as a movie and stuff like that, and something. And so that's the thing. I wish people would remember him more as an actor than the one who passed away in The Crow. But anyways, I want to lend I want to I want to end this video with two recommendations. And that is a couple of the movies that I mentioned had reboots, as you could say, and so on and so forth. One that I think that it was better than the original is right here, 2012's Dread. Dread, starring Carl Urban. I highly recommend this one over Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. That's one that if you watch it, and as many of you have, it tanked at the box office again. But the fact of the matter is that many people have petitioned and said we want a sequel, and you know what? Yeah, we want a sequel. I'm sorry, Dread 2012. That movie's fucking awesome. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That movie is awesome, and I want a sequel with Carl Urban. And the other one is the reboot, The Crow from 2024. And now a lot of people a lot of people don't want to say very many good things about this film. And I went into it when I remember I went into it. I said, I'm going to go and watch this because this was released in and around the 30th anniversary of the original Crow from 1994. So 94, 2004, 14, 24. That's 30 years. 30 years. I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance. Now, was it as good as the 1994 movie? Hell no. Absolutely not. Not even close. But was it as bad as everybody said? No, 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 it wasn't. It actually looked at the character from a very, very interesting look, and I really liked it, especially when they showed the other side. They showed where do you go after you die, but before you become the crow. They showed where you go, where that is, that place that preps you for what you need to come back and take place, your revenge. And also the final act, which was fantastic, was like I said, many of these comics were very, very violent, very, very bloody. Finally, we got that one scene, and it was very quick though. That's the problem. Is it wasn't. It should have went. It should have been more throughout the movie. That's for sure. That I think that's probably their only real fault, is that final scene at the opera house. They showed how bloody and how it should have been done. The crow that James O'Barr had conceived, and so all I'm going to say though is that those are my two movies that I'm going to recommend to you. Above all the ones that I just spoke about, and let's hope that there's more. I know most people say, "Oh, we don't need any more reboots. We don't." You know what? But some of these ones that I mentioned on here deserve to have either reboots or continuations happen, and they really really do. And if you don't think that, then you didn't really look at my list, and you're not even really thinking about what they really did with them, making them all PG-13 movies. No, we need we need to see these comic book movies in their true form, and that's part of the reason why I actually did these two videos. But once again, I'm just gonna bring them back. I'm gonna recommend Dread 2012. That's your movie of the week. And right here, The Crow 2024. Those are the two movies. Go check them out because I think at the end of the day you'll understand why I recommended them. Once again, I'm Jarrett 306. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you subscribe to my channel. But more than that, whether you do or whether you don't, I'm gonna keep making movies, and I hope that you keep watching.